Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. Hey guys, today we are going to be walking through the process of sublimation. And I laugh because for the last few weeks I've been so heavily involved in DTF and using my new Epson EcoTank 8550 that I haven't done any other crafts, honestly. So today we're going to do sublimation on this iPhone 14 Pro. That's what it is. iPhone 14 Pro case. Um, and we're going to, um, like I said, do sublimation. So for this particular project, I got this blank from INNOSUB. I will make sure to link them in the description of this video tutorial, but we're going to sublimate onto the, hold on one side. There's the two sides of the case. There's like a matte side and then there's like a shiny side. We're going to be sublimating on the matte side. And when we sublimate on the matte side, the image will shine through to this side, to the shiny side. Okay. So that when we put this down onto our case, when we put this down onto our case, the image is going to shine through. So for this particular project, guys, it's sublimation, but we are not mirroring the image. Do not mirror the image, okay? Prior to sublimating, we're not mirroring or prior to printing it out, we're not mirroring the image. This is one of those instances that you do not mirror the image with sublimation, okay? So you're going to need your blank. This is called a blank because it's been coated to receive the sublimation ink. And I'm going to be using my Epson 7720, Workforce 7720 for this particular project, which I have changed the ink in that printer from inkjet to sublimation, and that printer has been discontinued. So I want to put that out there, guys, because when I do these videos, I do get a lot of questions. If you guys hear me repeat for those that follow me a lot, um, I do repeat for the people that are new to my channel. Okay, so that printer has been discontinued. All right, I think I've had my printer for about 2 years, I think, and I absolutely love it. So I hope nothing ever happens to it. Okay. So I changed this printer over from inkjet to sublimation. Now, when you do change a printer over from inkjet to sublimation, if you still want to be able to do fabric transfers, you still want to be able to do greeting cards and other non-sublimation projects, you do still need a inkjet printer. So um, I also have the HP 7740. Okay. Now this printer will print up to 11 by 17, and this one will print up to 13 by 19. Okay. So put that out there. But today we're going to focus on the sublimation blank for our iPhone 14 Pro um, case. All right. The size measurements, guys, we're going to go ahead and get that out of the way. The size of our image is going to be 2.81 by 5.81. Very important. 2.81 by 5.81. Now, the size did not come in your kit, but I Googled it. So I saved you the job of having to Google it. So the right size for this project is for the image is 2.81 by 5.81. Okay. So without further ado, we're going to jump in. We're going to go into Creative Fabrica, my one-stop shop. I'm going to talk about that. And then we're going to jump over to Cricut Design Space and we're going to be ready to sublimate. Okay. So let's get started. All right, guys, here we are inside of Creative Fabrica. And for those of you that, again, are new to following me, if you've not heard of Creative Fabrica is your one stop shop for all crafters. Okay. So if you are not good at graphic designs, if you're always on Etsy or Googling for images and that type thing, then you want to use Creative Fabrica. Okay. You want to use Creative Fabrica because you're going to be able to get all of these fonts, all of the PNGs, the PNG graphics, 3D type projects, and you also have access to Spark, which is their version of AI. And then you have crafts, needlework, classes, tools, PLD bundles, subscriptions, all that good stuff available to you. Now, you can get a monthly or a yearly membership. I highly recommend the yearly because you can pay for it at that time and then be done with any payment for anything for the next 12 months. And you'll have access to pretty much everything in here for free. And what you pull from Creative Fabrica can be used commercially. Okay. So you can sell whatever you're putting these images and fonts and things like that on, you can sell those things. Okay. Now, that being said, the first thing we're going to do is if you receive this sublimation blank and you're not sure what size it should be or how you're going to get an image in the shape of your blank, I like to come to Creative Fabrica. And what I do is I type in iPhone Pro, and it's actually uh, iPhone 14 Pro. I type that in the search field and just enter. And what I'm doing is basically checking Creative Fabrica to see if they have anything out here that's going to help me with this particular project. And as you can see, they have loads of stuff out here. You have templates that's already been put together for the iPhone 14 Pro. So you would have access to all of this for free. You just download and you have all of these designs that you can use for this particular blank. But I'm not going to be using that one today. And then you have mock-ups out here already. And so what I did is I went in and I took one of these. I took this one and I just uploaded it into Cricut Design Space so that I would actually have the actual shape that I need. But if I wanted to use either one of these for my actual design for my blank, they've already been put together for me. I don't need to do anything but just download this. And because I have a yearly membership, I don't have to pay for anything. Any of this that I decide to use is free. So you can see they have loads and loads of blanks already out here for the iPhone case. Okay. Now, once you click on download, what you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with a zip file. So you're going to have a zip file that's going to look like this right here. So you can see it says iPhone 14 Pro Max. And what you would do is click on that and extract it and then save it somewhere onto your computer. Now I save mine in my downloads. So you can see that I've downloaded it and here is that file right here. It's been compressed and now I can use this file. Okay. When it's zipped, it's not usable. And when you have to extract it, and then you're able to use it. So I've already extracted this file and I have it where I can now use it in Cricut Design Space. So we're going to pop over to Cricut and 1 second here. Okay, so here we are inside of Cricut Design Space. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload that particular case. So here is one of the iPhone 14 Pro cases or a design of it. And when it comes in, you can see it comes in at 5.227 by 10.576, which is way too large for the iPhone 14 Pro case. So what we're going to do is it's already unlocked here. If it's not, you would just click that lock and unlock it. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the 2.81 by 5.81. That's the size of our iPhone blank. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and lock that back. And now we have the shape that we need for our iPhone case we don't have to struggle to find a shape inside of Cricut Design Space. All right. So Creative Fabrica is the place that you want to go. All right. So once I get that in, I don't want to use this, but if I did, I'm good to go. I'm ready to print this out and go ahead and use my heat press to press it onto my blank. But I'm going to take a shape and I'm just going to use a square here. And I'm going to make this square large enough to where I can put the iPhone case on top of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to perform a slice so that I can just get the shape of the phone since I don't want to use this design. Now, I will tell you that you do have the ability in Cricut Design Space to, let's say that I have some fabric, okay? I can take a picture of that fabric. I can upload it into Cricut Design Space. And then when I upload that into Cricut Design Space, basically what I would do once I take a picture of it, I'm going to come here and click on this little icon next to print then cut and click on this drop down arrow and I'm going to select pattern. So if I had an image that I had uploaded to Cricut Design Space, um, I would just go here and say upload, and then I would click on pattern field. Okay, we are normally clicking on image. So if you've never used pattern field, you would click on pattern field, upload pattern, browse, and that image that you took of the fabric, you would just find it and bring it into Cricut Design Space. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my downloads here and I'm going to say view, extra large icons. I'm just going to find something really quick, guys. So let's just say that this was a pattern. Okay, this was a pattern. So I'm going to open it up and now I have this as a pattern, right? And I can save the pattern name. I can name it whatever I want to. I'm going to say Lady in Red Hat. Okay, and I'm going to save it to the color red and I'm going to say upload. That'll just make it easier the next time I want to find it. So now that I am inside of Cricut Design Space, if I wanted to use that pattern, then I could come here and click on the little icon next to print then cut, come down to the drop down arrow and select pattern. And there's that image right there. Okay. So you guys can see there's the image. And I can play around with how this image is actually um, on my case. I'm going to move this over so you guys will be able to see it when I click on edit pattern. But I could play around with this um, little rotary dial here and I can make it multiples like that. You know, I can make it larger and I can make it super, super small. You can play around with it horizontal, vertical. You could rotate it. You could flip it. But you could do so much with patterns. And like I said, I could have went in, took a snapshot of anything in my house and turned it into a pattern just by uploading it into Cricut Design Space as a pattern and then playing around with editing that pattern. So if I click on the X, you can see now, if I wanted to make this my paste, I can. Okay, so you can make anything a pattern, guys, inside of Cricut Design Space. All you have to do is instead of uploading it as an image, you upload it as a pattern, right? But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take this and I'm going to place it here and then I'm going to slice it. Okay, so you can't slice more than two images and you can't slice just one image. So it has to be two images together. Okay, so I have these two images selected. You can see here on the right, I have these are layers. So I have two layers and I'm going to come down to the bottom here and I'm going to click on slice. And what this is going to do is I'm just going to get a solid color of this. I could have also changed it to just a solid color, but I'm just showing you different ways that you can work in Cricut Design Space since I've neglected it for so long, since um I've been doing DTF. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this now you could change this to whatever color you wanted to change it to. So if you just wanted solid color, you could do just a solid color. I'm going to leave it on white, okay? And the reason I'm going to leave it on white is I'm going to show you how you can go into Creative Fabrica, find an image to bring in to Cricut Design Space and use it as um, your image that you want to put on your blank here. So we're going to go back over to Creative Fabrica. And this time I'm going to go to the search field. Search field is going to be your friend. I'm going to type in Black History and enter. Now, when you initially search, you're going to get options that's going to fall, like when I type in black, they're going to automatically start giving you some suggestions with the word black in it. But I always just finish typing what I'm typing and then just enter. And that way I get more bang for my buck, the way I look at it. So here I have all of these designs, guys, with Black history that I can actually use now. Okay. So I could make any of these the image that I want to put on my iPhone case. So let's see what we want to play around with. And remember, if you have that yearly membership, you've already paid for it. You don't have to worry about money at this time. You can just dig right into focusing on designing. So just looking through here. Oh, Black Teacher Magic. I like that. That's awesome. All right, let's see what we want to put on here. I want something popping. Let's look at this Black Lives Matter and see what we got. I kind of like these. These are kind of cute. But I think I'm going to go with a design that I used in Black History before. But anyway, you could use any of these designs. These are some nice ones over here. Black Teacher Magic. Believe, achieve, succeed. And because I'm having my background to be white, then I don't have to worry about my image not showing up because I don't have white pigment ink. I also like this one. Those are pretty hip. All right. Let's try Black History Beanie Babies. All right, so with this particular design, you can see here you have your commercial license. So let's try this one. We're going to download. And our file has downloaded. I just saw it, and here it is. I'm just going to select, trying to get my cursor over there, y'all, everything here, and I'm going to extract, and then I'm going to save it to my downloads just by clicking extract. But here on browse, you would just save it to wherever you want to put it on your computer. So download, and here it is. And let's do a view. All right. Okay. Like this one. I like that. But I also like this one. I'm gonna try this one because it's very colorful. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to upload this design into Cricut Design Space. So we're gonna go back to Cricut here. We're gonna upload image, browse, and forgot to remember which number it was. So we're gonna take that one and we're gonna click on, I always go with complex guys. And I'm going to leave that background on white. I'm not going to take it out because it's not going to make a difference anyway. And then I'm going to select the print then cut, and in the bottom right, click on upload. And I'm going to select that, add to canvas. All right, now when your image comes in, it's going to be larger, of course, than your iPhone case, but you have your iPhone case here as a template so that you know what size you can actually, make this. So we could go in here and say, make this a 2.81 by 5.81, but We may not want to do that if it cuts off any portion of her face, right? All right, so we're going to bring this in, but that's what that would look like. And we could make it a tad bit bigger. And then we could take our iPhone case and put it on there to kind of see where we would be. So let's do this like that. And then we're going to bring the iPhone case and we're going to put the iPhone case on top. It looks like it's on the back. There we go. All right, so the reason that I would not make it the size of the iPhone case is because you can see here it's going to cut out her face. All right, so we would be kind of, you know, taking off part of her head over here. I'm going to show you what it would look like. So I'm going to duplicate this just so I can not mess up my blank. But I'm going to show you if you were to use this like this. That over just a little bit. But this is what your blank would look like if you were to go in and make this the size of your case. I'm just trying to make sure I got all of it in there. Okay, so if I were to take this and slice it, I'm going to show you what it would look like. So we got two layers, one, two, and we're going to slice. And there's your iPhone case right here. So you can see it slices off part of the head and then it also slices off a part of the body there. But that would be your iPhone case right right there. So I'm going to make my background a different color just so you can get a good feel for. Let's say that was our, now you can see what your iPhone case would look like. So that's what it would look like. Not bad. You can still see the face on there. I'm going to give you an alternative if that doesn't work for you. I'm going to give you an alternative here. So we're going to leave that one there, excuse me, and we're going to upload the image again. And what you could do is size this down because remember that your template is white anyway. So you could take this and bring it in and size it down so that it fits right in there. Okay, like that. Excuse me. So you could do it like that, and then you could put some wording here, so like if I wanted to insert some text, I could say Black History. One second. Sorry about that. I had to pause. All right, so you could take the wording, and this font is called BFC Floral Cloud. And you could take that and you could play around with the colors. Mm. Or you could just go with black. You could also use a different font, so you don't have to use this font. Excuse me. Try not to come down with some bug, y'all. We got this jacked up weather here in Texas this weekend. All right. So you could make some text there to kind of, fill out that. And you could put any other little designs in there if you wanted to, or you could simply go with this. But if you decide that you like it, you would just click on all of it and group it. And now you have one cohesive image, and you would come down after you've grouped everything and click here on the bottom right on flatten. So again, if I turn my canvas black, you'll be able to see that's what your case would look like. Okay. So we got Black History over here, and then we got this one. Now, like I said, this one isn't bad. We can still see her face. It still has the wording here. It's got the skateboard with a little bit of graffiti. So I'm going to go with this one. I'm still going to keep this one. So I'm just going to hide it, and I'm going to turn this back to white. All right, so now we are ready. We have our image sized out and everything. So I'm going to click on Save. And I've already named this file my iPhone 14 Max, but it's really Pro. But I've saved it so that if I need to come back to this design, I already have my template in here to use. Okay, so I'm going to click on Make, and I'm going to change this to material size 8.5 by 11, and you're not going to mirror. Do not mirror. Okay, and we're going to click on Continue, and from here we are going to send to printer. So I'm going to select my Epson Workforce 7720. I'm not going to use the bleed. I'm going to use the system dialog and click on print. So I want to make sure that it's still on my Epson Workforce 7720 because I have 3 printers. So it's still on my 7720. And I'm going to check my preferences. I want this on paper cassette 1. Document size is 8.5 by 11. Up under quality, I'm going to change this to more settings, and I'm going to bring my quality all the way over to the far right and click OK. And I'm also going to change of these 3 tabs, more options, and I'm going to deselect high speed. I find I get the best print this way, and I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to click on print. Now I'm going to come up on screen so you can see me print my image out. So all I'm going to do from this point is I'm going to click on print. And matter of fact, I'm going to show you something else before I do that. So I'm using INNOSUB Sublimation Paper, 8.5 by 11. I'm going to go ahead and load it into my printer. And because I'm using paper, right, there's a setting that I use in Cricut Design Space that I'm going to show you that cuts really nice and clean. I don't have to worry about it cutting, or ripping my paper up. So I'm going to show you that setting. So I'll go ahead and load my paper into my printer. So since you can't see, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. All right, got my paper loaded, and I'm going to click on print. Now, when I get ready to tell Cricut what my materials is that I'm using, I use cardstock for intricate cuts. That is what I use for my paper projects. Okay, so if you don't have this, I have it saved as a favorite. You just go to browse all materials, and you can type in cardstock and search, and there it is. Cardstock for intricate cuts is what you would select. Okay. All right. So I'm going to come up on screen now, and we're going to finish this baby out by going to Cricut and having Cricut to cut our design out for us. All right, guys, here's our image, and I'm using INNOSUB. If you guys can see that, I don't know if you can see it, but it has INNOSUB all on the back here. But this is INNOSUB 8.5 by 11, and our image has printed out nice and perfect. Okay. So I think it has enough of her face that it's not an issue. All right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go over to Cricut and have Cricut to cut this out for us because we have it on a white backing. So you won't be able to see where you need to cut down here to get everything really nice and smooth. So we're going to have Cricut to cut it for us. So we're going to go to to our Cricut maker over here and have Cricut to cut it out, and then we're going to be ready to press this. Now I'm going to press this at 395 for 60 seconds. Okay, that's the temperature and time that I'm going to be using, and we'll be good to go. After that, we'll be able to go ahead and put our case together. All right, so let's go to our maker.
All right, guys, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load our paper onto our 12 by 12 mat. You want to make sure your mat is nice and sticky because you don't want your image to move once you put it down. And Cricut starts to cutting. So you want to make sure you have your image placed correctly. So I'm just going to get it on here. Okay. So there we have it. We have our image now on our 12 by 12 mat. We're going to take this over to Cricut, and we're going to have Cricut. It looks a little, as I say, Cricut. This looks Cricut to me. So I'm going to go one more time here. And make sure that I have it on here, because you don't want your cut to be off. There we go. Better. All right, now that we have our image lined up appropriately on our 12 by 12, we're now going to take this over to Cricut and have Cricut to cut out for us. So let's go here, and we're going to have Cricut to cut it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on cardstock for intricate cuts. Now that I've selected that, I can go ahead and load my mat. And we're going to click on the Cricut logo. And Cricut will cut that out for us. But if you want to manually cut this, then by all means, go right ahead. What Cricut is doing now is it's looking for the registration marks, which are the black corners, just to see where the cuts should be. So you don't have to worry about the black corners becoming a part of your project. It's only for Cricut to know where to place your cuts so that it cuts it appropriately. Alright, now that it's identified our cuts, it's going to go in and it's going to cut our image out in the shape of the iPhone case. And you're going to see how smooth it cuts that because we're using that intricate cut for cardstock. And just that simple. It's done. I'm going to unload our mat, and we're going to go ahead and take this off. One little area right there, Cricut. So we have the iPhone case cover now. I'm going to take that off because remember we did not mirror our image. So we have that. And we're now going to go back to our heat press. And again, we're going to press this at 395 for 60 seconds. So we're going to get our blank ready. All right, guys, so remember I told you there's going to be a shiny side and then there's going to be a dull side. You're going to take and put your image on the back of the dull side. And so when you sublimate this, the image is going to shine through to the shiny side. That's why you don't mirror your image. And the little piece of plastic that comes on your case, it has a little tab for you to peel it off. I've already peeled it off here, but you want to make sure you peel off that little piece of plastic because it's not going to be a part of your project. All right. So I'm going to grab two little pieces of heat tape here. So I'm going to grab 2 pieces of heat tape just to hold my image in place. Okay, just like that. And we're going to go ahead, and once my heat press is ready, we're going to press this baby again at 395 for 60 seconds. And then we're going to take it and we're going to apply it. We're going to remove this off, and it's going to have adhesive under here that's going to allow our iPhone case to stick. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to take a sheet of Teflon and put it here, and I'll just fold it over and then press it. All right, so we're going to give my heat press a chance to get to the desired temperature, and then we're going to go ahead and press. I'll be right back. All right, guys, while we're waiting for our heat press to get to the desired temperature, I'm going to show you this. So this is going to be when you get your case. It's going to have this little piece of plastic over the matte side, and it's going to be very easy for you to know that you need to remove it, because INNOSUB has put here, remove me. All right, that's what I like about this blank, because it's easy to know that there's a plastic coating. Some have a plastic coating, some sublimation blanks have a plastic coating, and you don't know it, especially if you're new to sublimation. So you sublimate on top of this, and your image is just going to be on the plastic. All right, so you want to make sure you take that off before you sublimate onto your blank. And you want to always keep your blank covered, because that's a special coating on there, and you don't want to scratch it up. So you want to leave this on until you're getting ready to use it. Okay, all right, be right back. All right, guys, our press is ready. We're going to go ahead and we are going to press it for 60 seconds. I'm going to come back when we're about 5 seconds out, and we're going to finish putting the case together. All right, guys, our time is almost up here. And we're going to go ahead and cut our heat press off. And you always want to tape your image down, guys, and that way you can kind of lift up to see if you got a good sub, and that way if you didn't, you can just push this back down and continue pressing. All right, so you can see that we have a pretty good sub here. And let me get my heat glove, because this is hot and I don't want to burn myself. All right, so this is the side that we sublimated on. It's going to look very dull, but sublimation people love, because sublimation is very vibrant. Okay, so when you turn it over, this is the actual side that you're going to be placing onto your case. And look how nice that turned out. Colors are popping and everything. All right, so I'm going to let this cool down, and then we're going to go ahead and place it onto our case. All right, guys, we're going to put our case together now. So we have our iPhone 14 Pro case, and then we have our cover. Okay, so this is the side we sublimated on. That's why you do not mirror, and you're going to see that your image is going to come through vibrant and colorful on that glossy side. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to remove this, and there's going to be an adhesive underneath it that is going to allow your sublimation blank to stay on it. All right, so we're going to take that and we're going to place it down. Just want to make sure that you get it on there right. So that looks good, and you're just going to press it in place. Okay, so now we have our iPhone case. iPhone 14 Pro. All completed and done, and looks nice. Look at those colors popping. Now, you can't turn the case like you saw me turn this case white. You can't turn it black and then use an image like this, because then there's no white pigment ink for sublimation. So it's not going to pick up her white shirt or the white in the eyes or any white on here. Everything is going to, anything white on here is going to pick up the color of whatever you made your case, which in this case, I made my case white, and that was why, because I have white in my image, okay? So you do want to be careful of that. And then once you get that done, the nice thing about this, guys, is when you open your bag, make sure to open it from the top to take your blank out. That way, if you were going to gift or sell this, you can just put it right back into the case and then go ahead and close it back up, okay? And your case is ready to gift or sale or whatever you're going to do with it. I don't have an iPhone 14 Pro. I will check to see if either one of my grandkids do, and if they do, then I will be sending this to them, okay? So for this particular project, guys, you saw how easy it was. When you get your blank, and for this particular project, you're going to, of course, need your blank. And this is how your blank is going to come. Remember, you're going to just peel off this plastic piece. And this is going to be what you sublimate on. The glossy side is going to be the side that it shines through. So do not attempt to sublimate on here. The sub ink will not even hold, because this side has not been coated to receive sublimation. You're going to sublimate on the side that you remove that plastic film from, and that's the matte, the dull side. And you do not mirror your image, okay? Then once you sublimate on, I did $3.95 for 60 seconds. Once you sublimate your image on there, then you're going to take your covering off here. You're going to peel off, and then you're going to take your designed image, sublimated image, and you're just going to place it on like you just saw us do. Now, you do want to make sure that you have heat tape. You also want to make sure that you have some type of glove or something to handle your blank after you take it off of the heat press, because you don't want to burn yourself. I use Teflon paper, but you could also use butcher paper. I use Teflon sheets, but you can use butcher paper or copy paper, just something to protect your heat platen from that sublimation ink, okay? And then you're also going to need sublimation paper. I used 8.5 by 11. This is INNOSUB. And then you need your image of choice. I showed you multiple things that you can do in Cricut Design Space to get the template. 2.81, 5 by 8, 5.81 is the sizing for your image that you're going to need in Cricut Design Space. I showed you how to get the iPhone 14 Pro Max or Pro. I don't know why I want to keep saying Max. The iPhone 14 Pro template. And I've also shown you how you can upload a pattern and use a pattern. A pattern could be any picture that you take in your house of anything, or it could be fabric, or it could be the background of something, you know, what have you. It could be a actual family photo that you could upload as a pattern, okay? But you're gonna need sublimation paper. Again, I use INNOSUB. This is 8.5 by 11, and that's it, guys. So we use Creative Fabrica, Cricut Design Space, and we want to thank INNOSUB. I don't know why I kept saying INNOSUB is who we used. This is the sublimation blank, so we want to thank them for sending us these sublimation blanks. And I'm going to link where you can click on the link to get directly to these blanks on their site, and you do get a discount there. I'm not going to say what the discount is, because over time, you know, those discount percentages can change, but you will get a discount if you use the link that's going to be in the description of my video tutorial. All right, guys, that's it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Again, I use my Epson Workforce 7720, which has been discontinued, but any sublimation printer will work. You can also Google for Epson printers that you can change over from inkjet to sublimation. All right, guys. All right, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Hey, if you guys are following me on Facebook, I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support that you show via Facebook. If you would like to join my Facebook group, It is called Ken Dorsey's Cricut and Creative Crafters. All you have to do is go to the description and the video tutorial and click on Linktree, and my Facebook group is linked there. Just click on the link, agree to the Facebook group rules, and you're in. And then if you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support that you show to me via YouTube. And if you would like to go ahead and click like, share, and subscribe, it is very much appreciated. Okay. And if you're seeing me for the first time and you like my method of teaching, guys, I have over 550 video tutorials on all types of crafting projects. If you're thinking about getting into DTF, I have a video tutorial on how to change over an Epson EchoTank 8550 to receive DTF or to do DTF. All right. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. This is the iPhone 14 Pro Blank from INNOSUB. And again, we want to thank them for sending us these templates. And hey, guys, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right. So you guys know my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.